Welcome to youARFIDwhatyoueat, a channel where we deal with some of the issues that somebody with avoidant restrictive food intake disorder deals with on a daily basis. My name is Chris. Today we're going to be trying out a food, and that food is the poutine.
You get some fries, you put a little cheese in it, and then some gravy too, and that's it.
Now it is currently Canada Day in my home nation of Canada. I figured it might be fun to kind of do something a little themed accordingly, so I figured I would give a poutine a shot today. I don't have a lot of experience with poutines in my life. I do love fries, and I do love cheese. And I'll often have cheese fries, where I'll just take fries and just throw some curds or some regular cheese on it and have that. But poutine I haven't really delved into much because my experience with gravy hasn't really been the best. I've had tastes of gravy over the years, but it hasn't really ever been something I've spent a lot of time with, but usually I haven't enjoyed the taste. Because it's Canada Day, I figured I'd go with a Canadian version of this. I got the Harvey's poutine. Harvey's is a restaurant in Canada. So yeah, I thought that might be cool, and I should dive right into it. Appearance-wise, it's a kind of a mess. It's kind of jumbled. You can see the sauce all over the place. You can see the fries have lost a lot of their texture, their crispness, and have got very melty. But the cheese has also gotten really melty too. That can be hit or miss. Melty cheese can be good if it's not too oily and too stringy or rubbery, but it can also be kind of gross too, depending. At least for me. So I'm gonna see how that all plays out. But appearance-wise, yeah, it's a lot happening at once, and I don't really like that too much. The brown color isn't particularly enticing. The way it kind of encapsulates all the other food and kind of takes over their colors isn't the best looking either. I can already see something that kind of feels like oiliness to me kind of coming off the fries and the cheese. Yeah, it could be worse, but it's not particularly great. It smells okay. All I can really smell is the gravy, to be honest. Kind of a meaty sense, I suppose. So I don't want to say it's bad, but I don't want to say it's good either. It's like right in the middle. Not off-putting at least, but not appetizing. Texture-wise, there's multiple textures going on here, so it's hard to give a overall rating. I guess I'll just combine how they all feel together. Fries have gotten very squishy. I like my fries crispy. That is not the case anymore. Cheese, again, it depends on how it melts. I'm gonna have to see when I actually take a bite. But right now, it hasn't melted too bad, honestly. It's not too stringy or anything. It's still kind of like right in the middle of like cheese curd and melty cheese. So that's not a terrible texture. Like it's not too bad. It just makes it kind of squishy, but it doesn't have that rubberiness, which I'm happy about. The gravy itself is thicker than it actually looks on the surface. Like I kind of thought this would be a bit thin. I do think that the thickness in this case kind of works to its advantage. It'll be a little more self-contained in the flavor and that it won't just soak into everything else completely. If I want these things to interact, I would almost prefer to have them separately, but that's not like properly how you eat a poutine, right? So I figured it'd be better just to slam all this stuff in together. And as a result, it doesn't look the best. It doesn't feel as good as I think it probably could if I was to do those things separate. But I'm trying to be true to the spirit of a poutine here today. So, all right, we've got some fry, we've got some gravy, we've got some cheese, all kind of intermixed here. Happy Canada Day, let's give this a shot. Okay. Not as bad as I thought, to be honest. I thought this would be a little rougher. Fries aren't as melted as I kind of thought they would be. The cheese is melted at a decent level where it's right in the middle, and that's kind of where I like it usually. So I'm getting good versions of those flavors, and the gravy itself isn't that bad, actually. It's not good. Again, I think I would still prefer just to eat this cheese and fries on their own. I don't think I normally would just put gravy on this. But in this case, with the very limited amount of gravy I had in that bite, it wasn't too bad. It does have a certain savoriness to it, like I've been saying, a certain saltiness. Not as spicy as I expected, I suppose. But again, when you're eating something, you're not really looking for manageable, you're looking for enjoyable, right? So if I was gonna be making this and I wanted to put the gravy on that, I would want it to taste better as a result. And I wouldn't say that. We got a second bite here, we got some gravy, we got some cheese, a little more gravy this time. Let's give it a go. Okay, the gravy's a little more in the way there now. But again, not too bad. Very edible. Like, I have to admit, I thought this would be a situation where I might just have to end up spitting this out or something. But I actually am getting this down. Each bite, I wouldn't say I'm growing to like it more, but I'm not getting put off by it yet. That's a good thing. I'm impressed by that. The more I look at it, to be honest though, the more it does not visually appeal to me. Like, as longer it's sitting here, the more it's getting melty and kind of yucky. It's just not visually very appealing at all. And you can see the texture of the fries, again, is really just giving way here. It's starting to melt. Especially if I take like a larger fork here, you can start to see everything all happening at once, and it's all busted up and melty. And there's just too much happening. I don't really like how that looks. Mouthfeel-wise, it's not terrible, honestly. Like the fries are holding up pretty good as far as the way they feel in my mouth. The cheese is fine. Like it's perfectly okay. It's melted, but it's not like drippy melty, which I don't tend to like. I'm not getting much oiliness like I anticipated that I would. Thankfully, the gravy is actually pretty well blended or well made, I suppose, and it has a certain thickness to it, and it's not oily like I thought it might be. I feel like I've had gravy before that was really runny, and as a result, it kind of just had this gross oiliness, this wetness. But this doesn't feel like it's adding like a certain wetness to the food. It just feels like it's adding a little layer of additional flavor to the food. So that isn't affecting the mouthfeel as much as I might have thought. In fact, it might even be helping in this case because it's helping everything just go down nice and smooth. But again, the flavor isn't anything to write home about. Honestly, like I'm not getting excited about this flavor. I can eat it, but I'm not like, this is good. Well, let's go for a final bite here though. We got some real drippy stuff here. We got some gravy. All right, here we go. Hey. The gravy's getting stronger as I eat this. Again, not spicy, but savory. There's a real savoriness to this. I don't really like it. I got a little too much cheese there too, I feel like. I'm the kind of person that would want a real perfect blend, a real perfect balance of the cheese and the fry. And when you're kind of scooping it out from this poutine like this, you kind of get less control over how these textures interact and intertwine. You're getting pockets of things happening. So you're getting like, oh, there's a big hit of cheese now. And then like maybe there's a bit of fry underneath. Oh, there's a bunch of gravy happening now. Some people love the idea of having it all just intertwined and all together, but I don't know. I think I would prefer this if I had the gravy on the side to just dip into. As you can see up close here, yeah, there's like a lot going on. Almost too much going on if you ask me. I don't really like how that's all mixed in the way it is. I just feel like you don't have a lot of control over this while you're eating it. Big chunk of cheese, big pocket of gravy, a fry that's kind of melty and not crispy or anything like that. Once you add the gravy to this, it's kind of the worst of all the worlds combined. But yeah, overall thoughts, poutine. The appearance leaves something to be desired. Again, it's just too much happening. The color with the brown combining with everything else and just mixing together. Like I hate to say this, it just makes it look like I threw this up or something. You know, it's too grossly blended, but not blended enough. It's too much. My mind can't really handle it. So I'm not a big fan of the appearance. Smell-wise, you really only smell the gravy, and it's not a bad smell, honestly. It's not like a great smell either. Yeah, this dull, savory aroma, like a bit of a heaviness to it. Not bad, but not good. And the longer I'm smelling it, the less I'm liking it. Texture-wise, I don't really like what the gravy has done to everything here. Like the cheese has starting to get melty really now, and it's starting to make the fries really melty and kind of gross. The texture of the gravy itself is actually not too bad, the thickness of it. If it was going to be really wet, I think I would have had a problem, but thankfully it does have a certain thickness. It's blended well enough that it is in itself like a decent texture. Overall, I feel like the textures for all of these individual things would work better on their own. Taste-wise, it's not bad, but it's not great either. Like, again, I feel like I would prefer this deconstructed, and then I could control how much of each flavor I'm getting. All you can really taste for the most part is the gravy. Like, I don't really taste the cheese, I just get the texture of the cheese. And the fries absorb so much of the gravy that it really just takes over the flavor of the fries. And now I'm not getting much from them either. And the fry flavor is the flavor I would probably want the most out of these. So I find that disappointing. The actual gravy flavor itself, yeah, it's kind of like this very like muted, savory kind of taste. It's not too bad, but it's it's not for me. It's not a flavor I personally enjoy. And the mouthfeel is actually better than you might anticipate, or at least better than I anticipated. Like the gravy actually kind of helps everything go down, and it doesn't hang around. There's no lingering flavor or lingering mouthfeel here, which is strange. I kind of thought that gravy flavor would really linger, but it doesn't. So I'm happy to say that. Would I eat this again? Probably not, honestly, no. I just don't like the way these things work together. I don't like what the gravy does to it. So yeah, poutine? Anyways, this is youARFIDwhatyoueat. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me today on this Canada Day edition of Trying It Out. I hope you enjoyed the video. We do new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you enjoyed it, feel free to pop back on and smash that like button or whatever people say. I don't know, I'm not cool. Hopefully we'll catch you back for the next episode. But until then, take care and have a great day. All right, bye-bye.